individuals are influenced by the dynamics and interactions within their families. And addressing these underlying issues can help improve mental health outcomes for all members of the family. REACH, is a close knit, supportive, and collaborative group of occupational, physical, speech therapists, leadership team, and support staff. Led by 5 women with disabilities, this is the only clinic in the Dover area offering trauma informed and neurodiverse affirming therapies under the mantra Nothing about us without us, expressing the conviction that people with disabilities know what is best for them. Hi, I'm Paige, and with me today is the dynamic executive director of Reach for the Top nonprofit organization that provides therapy services focused on a family centered model. After serving as Reach's clinical coordinator for 18 months, Amy Crane took on the role of executive director, and as a therapist, she has extensive training in trauma informed care, feeding therapy, including fragile infants, with feeding tubes to picky eaters, and trained focused on a neurodiverse affirming response in the treatment of challenges associated with sensory processing disorder, autism, oppositional defiant disorder, ADHD, retained reflexes, and vision disorders. Welcome to the podcast, Amy.
Hi, Tej. Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction and having me here.
I would love to know about the types of therapy that you are offering at your clinic. And I just looked up your website and I found that you have a state of the art sensory rich 5,000 square foot clinic.
Yeah, so we have 5,000 square feet in the local city building, which is surrounded by other mostly nonprofits that we collaborate with. That's wonderful. And in our space, we have tools to work on a variety of challenges that some of the children might come in presenting with that also help families learn how to work with their child and their individual needs through a play-based and sensory-enriched model that helps their brain learn skills faster, because we know that children learn best through play.
Absolutely, yes. So, and when you say therapy based, you are specializing in feeding therapy. Is that? I didn't.
Well, so we have a lot of different specialty areas, and because of that, it can definitely become a little confusing, and that's why we're under the larger umbrella of family-centered care, and we try to have therapists from occupational, physical, and speech therapy departments that are trained in a variety of different areas so that the parent can come to Reach and know that we'll help them figure out what their child might need. And we do feeding therapy. We do vision-based therapy to help them learn how to process what their eyes are bringing in, as well as our speech therapists can work on some reading skills and phonetics. We have specialty programs that include hippotherapy, the use of a horse. We have aquatic therapy. Yeah, hippotherapy is one of our favorite therapies for the children and the therapists. It is a lot of fun, and we work on the same goals that we would in the clinic. We just use the horse and a farm to help children achieve those goals. The same is true for our aquatics program at a local pool in the area. And our children really love being in the water as well. And then we have a sensory garden that we put in front of the local library. And we do therapies out in front of the library as part of our outdoor therapy group, which provides one-to-one care to the children, working on their needs, but doing so outdoors where, again, there's a lot of evidence that shows that using the outdoors and play can help children learn skills faster. And then we have parent support groups for autistic children and neurodiverse families to help them learn how to best support their child in a world that was created and developed for neurotypical individuals. that it can sometimes be challenging to advocate for their needs and help their child when society is kind of pushing back and saying, oh, you need to do it this way, or we can't do that for you. So we're really focused on, figuring out which therapies the child might need from whatever specialty areas, and then helping align with the right therapist and helping the parent, become the most informed person in that child's life to help them as they continue to grow with whatever challenges they have, through the lens that everybody, whether you're neurodiverse, neurotypical, whether you have disabilities or not, can improve through coaching and support and adaptations to the environment, and putting the onus really on everybody within the system and not just on the individual that is having the challenges.
Right. So it encompasses all these factors, including the parent groups, including the social aspect, including the child, of course, and the therapist. So it must be taking a lot of effort to bring everything together for one child. How many such children do you have right now?
That is definitely a challenge. I'll say that we are happy to help families meet, but can be a lot of work on the backside as a nonprofit.
Yes.
Right now, we have 225, I think, was the last count. We generally help anywhere from 220 to 300 children any given week.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's something. And I had heard of dog therapy and cat therapy, but I hadn't heard of horse therapy. So hippotherapy is something that is proving to be beneficial, is it?
Yes, so there's a lot of research on hippotherapy, and our therapists get trained through the American Hippotherapy Association, and they showed that you can use the horse not only as a tool for strengthening and the body, because it takes a lot of muscles and
Oh,
balance and control to sit up on a horse, but also from the aspect of connecting with an animal that you can build a trusting relationship with, the confidence that you have when you're sitting on 1,000-pound animal, and being able to play with a ball or do a puzzle or, use your hands in different ways to work on your fine motor skills or your vision skills. These children really connect to that intrinsic nature of play and fun and connecting, and the confidence that they show is just, it's beautiful, and it really empowers not only the child but the family when they see them up there doing these activities on top of a horse. It really is phenomenal.
I'm sure the children are also excited to have hippotherapy. Today is hippotherapy day, so they would be very excited to be attending those sessions.
Yeah, I mean, in general, 90% of our children absolutely love therapy in general in the clinic, and they might have their heart set on a specific room that has different swings or the slide or trampolines or um, a rock wall. We have a bunch of different equipment that they really love having. And they really develop a close connection with their therapist. There's a lot of therapeutic rapport and relationship building that goes there, and we try to work on all of their skills through play so that they don't really realize that they're working hard, even though they are. So a lot of times they're excited just to come in the clinic alone, but aquatics and hippotherapy, they get a little more excited, I'd say, and it really is beautiful to see this specialty program be able to open up different opportunities for them that they might not be able to
True.
participate in. If they're really sensitive to busy environments, or, if a place that you would go to do writing didn't have, people trained or additional tools to help them feel safe and confident when they are there. So,
True, true. And obviously, because you are collaborating with external agencies, I'm sure there is a cost involved to that.
Yes. So that is a big part of what makes our model very unique is that we are able to bill the child's insurances through or services through their insurance company, their general services at the clinic. But there's a lot of time and effort that goes into the specialty programs as well as the additional fees that we try to supplement so that those costs do not fall onto the families. So a program such as Hippotherapy can be an additional $70 an hour to go towards paying the farmer to use the horse, to feed the horse, to have a horse handler there that helps walk the horse around and lead the horse as we do the therapies with the child. And so to make all of that work, it definitely takes additional funds that as a nonprofit, we're trying to raise money to support so that families can have this experience without having to find that additional support themselves, because over 50% of our families receive state-based services where it can be additionally challenging outside of the time and money that goes into, purchasing some additional supports, therapies, tools for the child to succeed in an environment, again, that's set up for the neurotypical or those without disabilities that might have physical impairments that insurance doesn't cover the cost of all of the tools, the adaptive equipment that they might need.
True. In the course of your therapy sessions, have you come across anything that is very encouraging? I'm sure you are coming across many of these incidents, but do you have any specific memory of how you have touched a child's life?
So that's a difficult question to narrow down to just one family, Tej. But I love the opportunity to speak about the work that we do and the progress that we see and the connections we make. And there is one child that comes to mind that I have worked with personally that several other therapists have helped this family as well to reach their speech and occupational needs to help the child be successful. And this little girl, she is autistic and she loves horses and animals as well as the water, outdoors, all the swings. She is a bundle of joy and energy. And sometimes being able to communicate clearly what she wants to say to others can be challenging, as well as her ability to sit with any activity for long enough to put in the effort we know that she has and wants to put into it. So we find tools that help her get her body needs met and communicate what might be getting in her way, become aware of it, communicate it. Like my body energy is really high and it's hard for me to sit, which is a task that at school, is tricky for her. So we're doing a play-based activity. We might say, it looks like your body needs something to move a little bit with. So we'll try some different tools out to see if that's what helps her body, helping her figure out which tool feels right, helping her figure out what her body needs, and then communicating it to others. And when you see her body that has this energy on top of a horse, sitting upright with great
Maintaining.
posture and able to do all types of play, reaching for balloons and popping bubbles and singing songs and flipping backwards on the horse while the horse is moving and doing a
Wow.
puzzle, it is just phenomenal. And she excels in so many ways that not everybody recognizes because they're so focused on meeting specific education goals or milestones in a specific way, where we're really coming in to help her figure out what her body needs and to be able to communicate that to others, to her family, to her teachers, to find environments that are going to support her if it's a little too loud for her and she needs an environment that can bring that level down, but also respect that sometimes her energy brings her voice up and she doesn't realize it either. Um, and so we're always helping a child in trying to be very respectful. We're very mindful of what we're doing. And we do that by listening to autistic voices, autistic adults that have had experiences or therapies that have shaped them in a positive or a negative way, and taking that input, further shaping our therapies based on that. And in with this little girl in particular, her mom is autistic as well. So we bring her in to help us shape our program. How can we help you? How can we deliver, this information to you? Would you like it written? Would you like it verbal and then written? And finding different ways to meet the whole family's needs so that they can help that child be very successful in all their environments and advocate for their self.
Yeah. After all this hard work, do you have some sort of metrics to measure the impact that you have had?
So, measuring impact in terms of large well being scales is an area that we're moving into, and we are working with different consultants to identify what type of metrics on a larger scale might be able to help inform the specialty programs that we are providing. However, we do have metrics for each individual child within therapy based on their goals that they have for occupational or speech or physical therapy. And so they co-create those goals with the parent, identifying what's meaningful for them. Is it meaningful for your child to be able to have the strength to ride a bike? Okay.
Hmm.
So they can't pedal a bike more than 5 feet on their own and control the bike to be able to ride with their friends. So do we need to work on a little bit of strength and confidence first, or do we need to find a different bike that's going to work for them? So we'll work with the parent to create a goal where they're starting at their baseline. And then after practicing in therapy and working on it at home in their natural environment, we will reassess where they're at and if they've met that goal based on what the therapist and parent and child determine, is met. Do they just want to be able to ride for 15 minutes with their friends in the neighborhood? Okay, great. We're going to make a goal that says that. That's what, strength wise, they should be able to do. And if they can't do it, we'll find a bike that allows them to do it for that amount of time that they need. There's a lot of new information coming forward in terms of where we come up with the standards that we use, to meet milestones. And so being respectful of aligning it with the medical model and what the insurance, has deemed is coverable and medically necessary, with also what works and is respectful for the family and the child. So there's a lot of collaboration and skilled assessment that goes into making sure that everybody's needs are being met here and that we are making consistent progress throughout the therapeutic journey. But yeah, and I also need to just make a quick clarification that we are not mental health providers. We're not counselors or social workers, and I don't want people to become confused by that. But we do work with children and families that have diagnoses that would require mental health treatment, and we collaborate with mental health professionals very frequently from the schools or from individual providers or from inpatient stays when we're working with our family and whoever they have already established, or ensuring that they, find access to that care, because there is a really long wait list in our area to get mental health care. And so we work with children that often require both services, and ours, from an occupational standpoint, would focus more on how they're able to participate in their daily routines, on daily living skills to help them be successful, and finding, tools that help their body feel regulated, where speech would focus more on being able to communicate their needs associated, with anxiety or depression, if they're having a hard time with communicating in general. And then our physical therapist, we are currently trying to hire physical therapists. Pediatric physical therapists are difficult to come by, especially in our area. And so to use an informed approach there, it might require that they find a different way to work with the child if they, cannot tolerate anybody touching their body to help them stretch in certain
Right.
ways. And we respect that body autonomy and find another way to help them stretch specific muscles that might need, to be stretched to help them reach their other goals. So we're always embracing the changing times to answer your original question, in a really family centered way, in a neurodiverse affirming way, in a way that's trauma informed, because we are having more and more families come in that are, expressing their child has experienced adverse childhood experiences that are presenting with trauma based reactions, or they're in trauma therapy. And that's something that we want to ensure that we are able to provide, that is a needed specialty area in our area, and hasn't been done.
Let's take a break to understand what Chezuba is. Everyone at some point ponders on how this beautiful life can be made more meaningful. Maybe you're a leader trying to enhance your employees' experience at your organization. Or you already work for the community and seek volunteers with state-of-the-art skills to strengthen your nonprofit. Whatever your situation, know that you can make a difference. Chezuba began with this very vision, a vision to facilitate every skill and every passion in the world in meeting a social need. Corporate volunteering has several benefits for both businesses and organizations. In parallel, experienced and enthusiastic volunteers join NGO workers, enabling them to serve the community more effectively. Chezuba offers everyone looking to add purpose and meaning to their lives a chance to connect or volunteer virtually with nonprofit organizations from over 100 countries around the world. Visit www.chezuba.net and explore opportunities to find meaning. Chezuba, your platform to do good. And now, back with our guest. To ask you, this is something that requires a lot of patience. It has challenges every single day. What is it that keeps you going?
That is an excellent question. And I think for our therapists, the love that they have for the children and families that they become so connected to, and their passion for being advocates for those with disabilities, and especially with many of our staff self-identifying as having disabilities themselves, this work is even more meaningful to us in that aspect. But to be able to play every day, all day long, and help parents feel empowered to support their children, it's just beautiful. And as a parent myself, um, I've learned so much, from being a parent and being a therapist and working in this field. And the work really is so rewarding, and doing it in different ways and having access to all the specialty programs as a therapist. It's so much fun every day at work. And we have a very close team that really enjoys what they're doing, really enjoys being able to we call ourselves professional problem solvers. So we're here to support
Yes, you
others,
are.
and it really fills us up.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is amazing. Thank you for all that you are doing, Amy. Therapy
Thank
is not, it's not a one size fits all solution, and the course of treatment depends on each individual's unique circumstances and what they want to achieve. And with the right therapist and the right approach, like REACH, therapy can help individuals overcome challenges and improve the quality of life and a greater sense of fulfillment in their lives. Thank you very much, Amy, for sharing all that you are doing. It was lovely to talk to you.
Thank you, Tej. It's been such a pleasure, and I appreciate all the work that you do to help put nonprofits and NGOs out there to the world to share the important work that we're all doing.
Thank you. And like you say, it is rewarding for us too.